America stands at a crossroads. With shifting economic landscapes, fluctuating job markets, and the rising cost of living, the policies set in place today will shape our nation's future. The question remains, will former President Donald Trump's policies guide us to prosperity or set us back?
To understand the potential benefits of Trump's policies, we must first examine history. Between 2017 and 2020, Trump's administration enacted some of the most impactful economic policies in recent history. This resulted in historic job growth, increased wages, and a revitalized business sector.
But what about now? With the potential for a return to office, how would Trump's 2025 policies affect the economy, jobs, and the everyday American?
One of the most defining moments of Trump's first term was the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. This legislation slashed corporate tax rates from 35% to 21%, a move that fueled economic expansion and encouraged business investments. According to Trump's tax cuts and the U.S. economy, benefits and long-term growth effects, these policies led to higher wages and boosted GDP growth by an average of 2.5% per year. Under Trump's leadership, unemployment reached a 50-year low at just 3.5%, with wages rising at record rates, especially for lower-income workers. As stated in labor market trends, under Trump's economic policies, low-income wage growth outpaced that of high earners for the first time in decades. Trade policies played a crucial role in strengthening American manufacturing. Through tariffs on China and renewed focus on domestic production, jobs in industries like steel and aluminum made a comeback. According to America First, the impact of tariffs and trade wars, manufacturing job growth surged due to protective tariffs, helping revive U.S. industry.
Trump's deregulatory push provided a business-friendly environment, allowing entrepreneurs to thrive. By cutting unnecessary regulations, small businesses experienced record-breaking growth. The study, How Deregulation Under Trump Spurred Economic Expansion, highlights that reduced federal regulations directly led to a surge in small business startups.
Under Trump, energy independence was a top priority. By increasing domestic oil and natural gas production, Americans saw lower energy costs and less reliance on foreign imports. Trump's economic policies, particularly deregulation and energy independence, were designed to reduce costs for businesses and stimulate production, ideally passing those savings on to consumers. Trump emphasized energy independence and deregulation. From an economic standpoint, how do these policies affect the average American?
Well, the deregulation should make the price level cheaper. So you take some of the shackles off there, maybe some environmental protections and things that aren't protected, the things that are costly to the American consumer. You take those off of businesses and let them produce more output. That should be cheaper for Americans because the supply goes up. And you know from my class that if supply goes up, then the price level should go down.
This aligns with Trump's policy goal to reduce regulatory burdens so that increased production can lead to lower prices for everyday Americans.
One of the most pressing concerns for America today is inflation. High government spending has led to rising prices, but Trump's economic strategy aims to curb inflation through lower taxes and fiscal discipline. As discussed in Trump versus Biden, Economic Policies and Inflation Projections, analysts predict that Trump's tax and spending policies could help stabilize inflation by reducing government overreach.
An October report by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy found that his tax proposals would lead to tax cuts for the nation's richest 5% and increases for 95% of Americans. The richest 1% would see an average tax cut of more than $36,000, while the next highest 4% would see average tax cuts of $7,200. The middle 20% of Americans would see an average tax hike of more than $1,500, or 2.1% of their incomes. But the poorest 20% would have to shoulder an average tax increase of $800, or a whopping 4.8% of their incomes.
Critics argue that Trump's tax cuts primarily benefited the wealthy, that tariffs hurt certain industries, and that deregulation had environmental consequences. While these concerns are valid, it's crucial to analyze the overall economic impact and the tangible benefits seen by millions of Americans.
Well, I'm not an economist, so I'm not 100% sure, but again, I think if his plan is to level out the trade deficit, I do think that gives America a much stronger economic base, and I think that would fight against economic recession or depression. election later. But I guess we'll have to wait to see if that actually works or not.
Even from a non-economist perspective, the logic behind Trump's trade policy was clear: building a more balanced trade system to protect long-term economic stability. This could impact millions of Americans by stabilizing domestic industries, preserving jobs, and reducing dependence on foreign markets, all of which contribute to a more secure economic environment. And the data from Trump's tax cuts and U.S. economy suggests that job creation and wage growth disproved the claim that benefits were limited to the upper class.
With 2025 on the horizon, the question remains: will America once again embrace the policies that led to historic economic growth? Trump's vision prioritizes job creation, tax relief, and energy independence, all of which aim to secure a prosperous future for the nation. The policies of today will shape the America of tomorrow. What path will we take?